Hey, welcome back for another episode of Porn Rewire, the podcast with me, Dr. Trish Leigh. Today we're going to talk about how to heal erectile dysfunction and delayed ejaculation. So we are talking about sexual dysfunction and how you can heal it. We're going to talk about unwire, rewire, and hardwire. That's our familiar framework. And we are going to think about it in terms of stop desensitizing the reward center in your brain. That's the unwire portion today. The rewire portion is how do you heal the reward center and the reward pathways so that they work again? So we're going to cover how that desensitization happens and what it's doing to you in terms of sexual function or dysfunction. And then we're going to talk about how to heal it. Lastly, in the third section is going to be your brain hack strategies for the day in terms of how do you hardwire your brain again for healthy sexual function after you've unwired and rewired it? How do you turn up the heat in the bedroom again after you have defrosted the situation in the unwire and rewire? So we've got a big, awesome episode in store today. So let us dig in. Number one, stop desensitizing the reward center in your brain to heal erectile dysfunction and delayed ejaculation. So if you struggle with erectile dysfunction, this is an arousal dysfunction in the brain. The reason that it happens is you've been hitting the easy button for sexual arousal at very high levels for a long time. And for most people, what that looks like is frequent, consistent, and building in intensity porn use, coupled with masturbation to reach orgasm. So in doing so, what you've done is you've conditioned your brain to go back to unhealthy sexuality to get high levels of dopamine. When you do that, you're basically hitting the easy button, literally on your phone or computer, to get a 15 plus level of dopamine. Well, over time, tolerance builds and you need to hit a bigger button for higher intensity to get a 16 or a 17 or an 18. Now we go back to time in the bedroom with your honey, and your honey on a good day is probably a 9, right? It's difficult to be a 9 all the time. Your honey on a good day, probably a 9. On a bad day, when she's frustrated with you, maybe a 2. So now you're going back into the bedroom and you've got, let's just call it a 5, average. You've got an average experience going on. You're at a 5, but your brain is used to a 15. So the arousal gap that you need to close is 10 points, literally in the amount of dopamine that your brain needs to get aroused to be able to achieve an erection and be able to move yourself towards orgasm in a timely, enjoyable fashion. This arousal gap is because of dysfunction in the brain. Because of hitting that easy button, what has happened is the dopamine receptors, D2 receptors in your brain, have been desensitized. So moving on to number 2, because that's the unwire, we're going to move to rewire. What do you do about it? You have to resensitize the reward center in your brain. For many people, it doesn't just come online by itself. You have to work it out. So if you want to get fit, yes, you have to stop eating unhealthy, right? You have to stop consuming the stuff that is making you gain weight. So our analogy here is you have to stop consuming porn, sexual media, or sexual acting out, because that's desensitizing your brain. That's making you gain the weight in our weight loss analogy. So you have to stop eating the bad stuff. So for some people, when they stop eating the bad stuff, they trim right down. For other people, they don't. Those people have to work out. So if you've stopped consuming porn, but your erectile dysfunction's still around, you need the rewire process. Get into the QEEG brain map with me so I can tell you exactly what you need. And if that's not in the cards for you, at least get Brain Training 101 so you can start training your brain by yourself. You need to rewire your brain. Most people need to. You need to stop eating the junk food and you need to start working out to be able to get a healthy body. You have to stop consuming porn and sexual media, and you have to rewire your brain in the right direction to get healthy erections and orgasm and healthy sexuality, because you're changing your baseline back to healthy arousal. Let's go to number 3 right now, the hardwire. How to turn up the heat after you've defrosted the bedroom. So erectile dysfunction, I'm talking about it cavalierly for the sake of time mainly, but I don't want to do that. I want to pause here for a minute and tell you that if you've been struggling with erectile dysfunction or delayed ejaculation, it is a struggle. It creates so much performance anxiety. It creates the polar opposite of healthy baseline arousal. It makes it so that you're in a stressed out state anytime you think about being with your honey, which unfortunately throws you back into porn or hypersexuality, and it all becomes a negative feedback loop that keeps you stuck. You have to stop desensitizing, because you can't resensitize while you're desensitizing, and you have to rewire your brain so it works better. But then you gotta start practicing healthy sexuality with your honey once you're no longer consuming supernormal stimuli. What does that look like? What that looks like is creating, this is your brain hack for today. So I'm going to give you 2 brain hacks. Here's number 1, how to get your groove on with your honey and how to start getting it going if it's been challenging for you for a while, if it's dead in the water. Number 1 is it's important to create time and space for physical intimacy. That if you want to start creating physical intimacy, you have to be intentional about it. So you have to stop doing all the wrong stuff, but you have to start doing some or all of the right stuff. And what that looks like is, the easy way to start is time and space. So create some alone time. If you can't get it in your own home, find a way to go away for a night. First, what it means is you have to become really aware of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde aspect of your porn-influenced sexual behaviors. So what that means is, what is the highest arousal activities or behaviors in the bedroom? Highest arousal might be those that are going to bring you back, or they're going to spike dopamine at 15 because they're porn influenced. So when it comes to that, just start building awareness, and it should be give and take. We should recognize that both partners won't find the exact same things arousing or exciting or enjoyable. That's part of the process, and that's actually something that women desire based on science. Based on science, women desire a man who knows what he wants in a healthy way, and a man who understands that she has otherness and she might like other things, and she might have her own arousal template. And that's going to bring us to the next aspect of this brain hack, but recognizing that, so in your actual physical interaction, make sure there's give and take, make sure there's share, make sure there's connection, but it can still be fun and engaging and have high levels of pleasure up to 10. If there's a problem or an issue in your relationship, which many times there is when porn consumption or hypersexuality or sexual acting out is involved, if there's any issue in your relationship, recognize that's going to impact your ability to feel that pleasure, enjoyability, and connection with your partner. It has to be addressed. All of it should be addressed. So the people who succeed in this journey the most are those that are communicating and interacting with their partner in an emotionally healthy way. If you have a problem in your relationship, you got to take all the opportunities, and you're going to need to create an opportunity right now to talk about the sexual dysfunction and what your goal is, what you want to happen, and then get intentional and set your sight on that goal and make it happen. Start working towards it. And when you do, you're going to find that combined with brain training and the lack of desensitization, your brain is going to resensitize itself. And in this safe, comfortable environment with your honey, it's going to come online. If that environment is not safe and comfortable, it's going to put your brain into wired and tired, wired especially. So if you're feeling anxious about performing, it is the polar opposite brain pattern of calm focus, which is what is necessary to achieve erections and orgasm. So that's the bottom line. So you have to hardwire your brain through your interactions with your partner, and they will come online. And if you don't have a partner, you want to attract a partner to you and practice building intimacy over time. Polar opposite of the easy button. Now I'm going to give you brain hack number 2 very quickly, because I don't totally suggest this, but if you don't have a partner, or if you can't get the conversation going with your partner, but you want to start building arousal, I have a technique that I call masturbation meditation. It's loaded for anybody who's desensitized their brain. So it comes with a big red warning sign. The warning sign is, don't use this frequently because you are not rewiring your brain back to healthy sexuality with a partner. It's still sexuality with yourself. And that is not the way sexuality is designed. Sexuality is shared between two people. So the idea here is you stay with the sensations in your body, and you, again, build arousal over time, staying out of fantasy, not using porn, not using external 15 plus stimuli, trying to rewire and reboot the system and to bring online arousal at a level 7, 8, or 9. And thinking about your partner or the potential partner is a way for you to also kind of stay with that healthy imagination as one of the stimuli, so that you can attempt to kind of get that spark going. But again, I don't really recommend it in this case. I recommend that you focus on sexuality with your partner. And if you don't have a partner, focus on attracting a partner, because that's most people's goal. Get out there and build intimacy in the other ways by sharing emotionally and connecting. And remember that arousal baseline of feeling calm and focused in your entire life is also necessary. So if you're really stressed out, or if you're disengaged and you're not on purpose, those things need to be figured out in your life, because that's what creates the healthy arousal baseline. All of that is in the Rewire section of my 90-day program. So if you are feeling particularly anxious and stressed out, your brain needs to be rewired more. You got to go back to the Rewire section before you can get to this hardwire section. And in the 90-day program, there is a toolbox of unwiring and rewiring your brain. The majority of that program is focused on the unwire and the rewire. And there really is a nice hardwire section for building the foundation also. But get the help that you need, because this is just one suggestion out of 100. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. If you need help in this journey, please visit me at drtrishleigh.com. There are programs in the Porn Brain Rewire section. There's the digital 90-day program. You can add coaching with Coach Zach Carter. You can get the brain assessment with me under Work with Dr. Trish Leigh, which can lead to neurofeedback coaching, or you can train your brain by yourself. I have a new erectile dysfunction program coming out soon. I'm very excited about it. I've been working on it for months. So I'll let you know when that's available. It'll be on a top tab on my website. So if it's not there yet, it's coming soon. And if it is there, go over there and you can check out that program, that digital program also, because it gives you all the tools of figuring out desensitization, resensitization, and ready, set, go in the bedroom through the 5 Rewire R's for erectile dysfunction. And there's a whole lesson on DE and PE in that program also. Okay, so until next time, I'm here for you. I would love to help you. If you are struggling with erectile dysfunction, this is no joke, and you likely need more help, please go to my website. And until next time, control your brain, or it'll control you.